What is up, lads? It's Chris Modern9 here. Right, so Chelsea matches. First one, pre-season, 2019-2020. I bet you've missed these videos, haven't you? You really have. You've missed these videos. Don't deny it. So, this is the first pre-season game. This is the beginning of the rebuilding of Chelsea Football Club. This is the first game under Frank Lampard. This is the first opportunity for Frank Lampard to see the players that he currently has on his books, seeing who's good, who's bad, who is capable enough to be part of Lampard's plans going into this season. And it has started with a draw against Irish team Bohemians. Now, I'm not bothered about the result. Let's just put that to one side. Let's just put that on the back burner. The result is, let's be honest, irrelevant. It's a pre-season friendly. It's the first game. So, obviously, we're working from the ground up. Lampard is working from the ground up. He's just using some of the players that he has available. So, let's just talk about the goals. Early in the game, Michy Batshuayi. How I've missed Batshuayi, by the way. Amazing player. He scored our only goal, which was, I think it was in the fifth, about between 5 and 10 minutes he scored that. It was a very early goal in the game. And then, right at the end, 89th minute, we go and concede a goal in the second half. Which, it's got to be honest, a well-worked goal. Bohemians did pretty well in the second half. So, you've got to hand it to them with that goal. So, yeah. Let's just talk about the players now. The way that this game was set up, the way teams were put out. Now, there were two different teams, different sets of 11 players playing in both halves. Let's just call it the first half team and the second half team. The first half team, I'm going to give possibly a 7. Because there were certain players in that first half that were pretty good. The second half team, well, if it hadn't been for the fact that Billy Gilmour did really, really well in that, I'm giving them a 5. But if Billy Gilmour wasn't playing in that second half, I'd rate the rest of them a 3 out of 10. But let's just focus on the first half team first. Now, certain players that played in that: Danny Drinkwater, Ethan Ampadu, a guy, number 38, Gallagher. I'm looking at the team. I've got the team on the PC screen right now. So you've got Ampadu, Danny Drinkwater, Gallagher, Pedro, Batshuayi, Casey Palmer, Kennedy, Mark Guehi, Azpilicueta, Sterling, and Caballero. I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room here. Ethan Ampadu. Brilliant player. Brilliant player. One of the most calmest players to play for us today. I think he was excellent. It just shows you how big of a talent he is. He's played a couple of games for the Welsh national team. He's just improving every game he plays. What I would suggest, though, is I think he should play a little bit further back. I think he's better off as a centre-back than he is as a central midfielder. Maybe even a holding role. I think he'd be better off playing a holding role. I guess that's how he played here. I think we played a 4-2-3-1, and I think we changed it to a 4-3-3 a little bit later on. But I think Ampadu in that first half was very, very solid. I think he went down with a knock as well. But Ampadu, really, really solid performance. I really hope that he can continue on from this, because he's 18 years of age. There's plenty of years in him, and I think if he's treated the right way, I think he'll do great. Danny Drinkwater, he was poor in certain parts. I think he wasn't great. If I was to give him his rating for his performance, I'd give him a 5. I think he was very energetic. His passing was good. His work off the ball was a little bit poor. I didn't really like him. He was a little bit slow in places. But, you know, look, this is the first game of pre-season. I think he'll get better as pre-season goes on. But, you know, this is a player that didn't really play for Asandasari last season. This is a player that hasn't really done enough. So you can understand why he's a little bit raw in places. But I think if Lampard gives him a role to work on, I think he'll do better. And he'll work on that during pre-season. So, yes, Danny Drinkwater was a little bit below par. His passing was all right, but overall, I think there's a lot that he needs to work on his game. Now let's talk about other players. Batshuayi, I tell you something, I've missed Batshuayi. I don't know why he was sent out on loan. I didn't even know why Sorry didn't even give him a chance. Now he's a player that really needs to be part of our plans this season. I think he needs to I think he needs to stay. You know, when you compare him to somebody like Giroud is somebody who's like a focal point. You know, if you get the ball into the box and then Giroud gets his head on the ball, he'll get a goal. He's a little bit off the pace, but he's good at linking up with players. Batshuayi is somebody very different. I think he's got great pace. He can make good runs. He can get into spaces where he needs to be to receive the ball, and I think he's got great agility. He definitely needs to work on it, and it's something we definitely missed last season. And, you know, especially under Lampard, I think he'll get that job done, particularly if he works on his running, his positioning, and his goal scoring. Great goal, by the way. He beat the defender to the ball, and he finished it. I think the goal came from Kennedy, shot the ball, deflected off one of the defenders. Batshuayi received it. He beat the defender, and then he just finished it close range. Great finish. But yeah, Batshuayi, definitely something that we've missed last season. We definitely need to work on this season. Now, there was one player in that team, Gallagher. I think he was all right. Positioning was all right. Received the ball okay. Finishing was below par. But his passing was all right. Same can be said for players like Palmer and Pedro on the wingers. Pedro was a little bit... I think he was okay. Palmer was not great. I think Palmer needs a lot of work. And I think the reason why he went on loan... I think he was on loan at Brighton last season. But yeah, Pedro was okay. Palmer still needs a bit of work. Azpilicueta's good at centre-back, as you would expect from somebody like Azpilicueta. Mark Guehi, the other centre-back in the first half, was good. He was all right. He was good. Good handling of situations when he was called upon. Good tackling. Good receiving of the ball. Kennedy, of all the players in the first half, I thought he was the worst because I think he's a bit lackluster. Now, if you expect him to do something after all of his the experience that he got from Newcastle, he didn't do very much at Newcastle, and then he comes back. I don't know. I wasn't sure about Kennedy. I think Kennedy needs to switch from left back to right back. I think Dujon Sterling played there. Sterling was good, actually. I think overall, Chelsea in the first half was good. Ampadu was the standout player for me. I think he was calm, it was collected, did his job well, did what he was expected to have done last season. I think he was very good when he was given the chance last season. Sorry didn't give him enough of a chance. But when he got his opportunity today, did very well. So, that was the team in the first half. Right, let's talk about the players in the second half, because there are a few things that need to be addressed. And I'm trying my hardest not to be too critical, because this is the first game of the season. You know, everyone's literally come back. New manager, new formation, possibly new regime. Everybody's trying to understand their role in the team at the moment. Now, the second half team was a bit lackluster, and there are players in there that didn't really do enough. I'm going to earmark Lucas Piazon and Baker. Lewis Baker, I think is that. Yeah, Lewis Baker. I'm going to earmark those two because they've been at the club now for how long? Like Piazon, I don't even know how long have we had Piazon? He hasn't even played for us. And the amount of times he's been on loan. The same can be said for Lewis Baker. I mean, both of these players have picked up a lot of experience during their times on loan. And, well, they didn't really do enough, to be honest with you. And then you've got somebody like Billy Gilmour, who's 18 years of age, Scottish player, and he played... Let's talk about Billy Gilmour. Billy Gilmour played like Eden Hazard turned 18 years old and turned Scottish. I'll tell you something, Gilmour was the standout player in the second half. But the reason why he didn't do enough was because of the lack of activity going on in the midfield. Now, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank said at half-time, during, I think it was on the app, on the Chelsea app, because that's how certain people were able to watch the game, although they had a little bit of problem with it. But Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank said at half-time, if you want your strikers, if you want your front men to do jobs, if you want your people up front to produce something special, you need your midfielders to do good jobs. Baker and Piazon were not great. There is one thing that I will say. Lewis Baker did do some good passes. There were some really good key passes that Lewis Baker made. Other than that, off the ball, he was not good enough. On the ball, he was taking too much time. And the same could be said for Lucas Piazon. His passing was not very good. Moving off the ball was not great either. Bakayoko. Let's talk about Bakayoko, because Bakayoko is a strange case, because when he first signed for Chelsea for 40 million, his first season was atrocious. I'll tell you what, whenever I watched him play, honestly, I swear to God, I was hoping that he would get sold on. He was that bad. But when he was on loan at AC Milan, the first part of his Milan loan was just as bad as when he was at Chelsea, but he picked up his game a bit later on in the stages of his season at Milan. Now, he's come back, and he's been put in the middle with Baker and Piazon. Look, I mean, I know it's the first game of the season, I know it's the first game of pre-season, I know there's plenty of time to look at these players. First impression was 50-50. I think there were times that he was alright, there were other times where he was a bit slow, didn't do very much, didn't do enough. He didn't have much of a will to get the ball when he lost it certain times in the game. So Bakayoko, for me, was a little bit lackluster, but he did make up for it with some good challenges. But if you're going to impress Lampard, you need to put your effort in with every single minute. I didn't think Bakayoko did that. I think there were times where he did okay, but there were other times it was a bit sloppy. Let's just talk about other players. Ian Maatsen at left back. I thought he was good. I thought he put in a very, very good 45 minutes. He was very quick, very sharp with his passing, very good at moving. I think he was our left back, I think. And this is a position that we've actually struggled with at left back, because we've got Emerson and Marcus Alonso. Yeah. Ian Maatsen, a little bit of a breath of fresh air. Good 45 minutes under his belt. Let's see if he can continue that. If he gets picked for another pre-season match. Good display. Kurt Zouma. Zouma was solid, I would say. You can't fault the defenders conceding the goal in the last few stages. But he was okay. Very solid defending, as you would expect from somebody like Zouma. But it wasn't the best. I'll give it that, but it was a good, okay performance from Zouma. Chalobah, a little bit sloppy. You know, when he has the ball, Chalobah, I think he doesn't really know what to do with it. He passes it out somewhere and then he loses it, or he passes it out somewhere and he gives it away. But defending was okay. It's just his ball work that needs work on. He needs to work on his ball work. Zabacosta, not bad, but not great either. Pretty much all of the defence at the back were, well, good to shut out for maybe at least 89 minutes of the game, but, you know. And then, who else have I forgotten to mention? Brown. Izzy Brown. I think he's the guy that was on loan at Brighton and Leeds. He had loan spells at Brighton and Leeds, Izzy Brown. I wasn't pleased with him either. I mean, compare him to what Batshuayi did in the first half. Brown has got a long way to go. I wasn't happy with his performance today. I don't think he did enough. I think he tried to cross the ball a few times, and they didn't go to anybody. To be honest with you, that's not what you should be doing when you're really, really trying your hardest to try and do something, and you want to impress Lampard in the very early stages. You know, you need to do some good ball work. You need to be able to cross the ball. You need to be able to run into space. You need to be able to run into the penalty box or receive the ball in the penalty box and at least threaten the goalkeeper. He didn't do any of that. I don't think he did anything. In fact, to be honest with you, the best attacker, the best player in the second half, by a country mile, was Billy Gilmour. 18 years of age, Scottish player, just played like Eden Hazard, but he's 18 years old and he's Scottish. But like I said, he didn't have enough of the ball. That's the thing, because the midfield didn't do enough. But let's not be too critical about the team today. Overall, the first half players did better than the second half players. Let's not get too critical, because it is the first game of pre-season. The 1-1 draw doesn't really mean anything. If you're caring about a pre-season game against a team like Bohemians, when, let's be honest, the first team isn't even playing, there's something wrong with you. The only thing you could be concerning about are the players that performed today. Just get the result out of your head. Yes, it would have been nice to have won, but Chelsea isn't perfect right now. You got to understand that we are rebuilding the team. We've given Lampard the reins to rebuild the team from the ground up. So of course there's going to be blemishes. Of course there's going to be bad performances and good performances. The bad performances may outweigh the good performances. The good performances may outweigh the bad performances. You know, you have a little bit of a mix. Okay, nothing is perfect. You have to work on the things that are not perfect and make them better for the next few pre-season games that start. So there you go. Now, this is the first game of pre-season. I will be doing videos for all of the pre-season games. The next one I do believe is against St. Patrick's Athletic, and I think that is, I think it's this weekend. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it might be next week actually, but I'll confirm that. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. It's been a while since I did it, since I've done a Chelsea video like this. So if you do agree or disagree with all the points that I've made in this video, then let me know in the comment section down below. And well, if you are here, make sure you check out my gaming channel as well, Chris Marder Games, if you are into gaming and all the rest of it. And yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, guys. Leave all of your comments down below. And until the next video, I shall see you later. Head on. And peace.